Hey, it's Sri here. In today's video, I'm going to talk you through 3 really important factors that you need to know in order to get your husband to love you again. Now, if you're going through a tough time at the moment in your marriage, my heart breaks for you because, I speak to women every single day who have gone through the sorts of challenges that you're probably going through right now. So I want you to know that there is hope. I am here to help you. But not just from me, but also from a lot of the inspiration that you can derive from a lot of my clients who have been able to create the most remarkable shifts in their life. People like Angie, people like Laurie, people like Monique, Sarah, all these incredible women who have created the most remarkable shifts. So I want you to make sure you stick around to the end of this video, watch this entire video, take some notes if you need to, just so you can really make sure you maximize the knowledge that you gain from the information in this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below and click on that bell notification as well, so every week you get access to my latest videos where I talk more about male psychology and marriages, how to really heal from within you and really awaken that goddess within you, and also just some practical strategies to be able to help move your marriage forward and ultimately really save it from a really difficult situation that it is right now. Now, I get it. If your husband has said, look, I'm not in love with you, or, even if he's not saying that, but, he's stopped saying I love you, he's not using some of the language that he may have done so, in years gone by, he may not be giving you the affection, the intimacy's probably dried up a little bit as well. If you're experiencing that, I know how tough that is. But I also see a lot of people who are getting really caught up in what I call the micro level behaviors rather than the macro behaviors, which is the bigger ticket items, or looking at it from a bigger picture as opposed to looking at everyday micro activities. It's almost like, think of it from a business standpoint, or even with your health. If we're trying to monitor every little bit of progress on every single day, then yeah, there's a lot of people who might say, well, that's really good from a goal setting perspective and you're analyzing everything every day. But all it does is it builds more fear, it builds more insecurity, and it prevents you from seeing the bigger picture. It prevents you from seeing the results over a long period of time. You're always so caught up in the micro level details. And I'm a real big fan of the macro. I'm a big believer in, yes, taking the micro steps, but really gauging and evaluating your success on the entire situation, on the bigger picture. And once you start doing that, that's when we really start to see results. And the other thing that's really important with that mindset is it means that you step more into patience and you step more into faith. A lot of people are so caught up in the minor details every single day. And look, I get it, right? Like, I understand when your marriage is on the line, when you're living in so much fear, of course you're going to naturally go down that path because you're in survival mode, you're in huge amounts of fear, and you want to take advantage of the things that are happening right now. But this is where we often self-sabotage. This is when we prevent ourselves from being able to move forward because we're seeing things from a very, very narrow point of view. We think that, okay, if he's not saying I love you, if he's not making the effort to, give me a cuddle or wanting to engage in intimacy right now, we globalize it and we say, oh, well, the marriage is over, or it's never gonna improve, it's finished. Rather than saying, well, actually, if I can just implement a few steps and I do that consistently, and I don't evaluate the outcome of every type of behavior, but I make sure I stick to my process every day, or every week, etc., then over a period of time things will improve. Things are likely to create shifts. And that's why I wanted to talk you through 3 really important steps that you can apply right now, or should I say 3 important factors that really assist in helping you to be able to get your husband to love you again and really improve that connection between the two of you. Now, the first factor or step that you need to take is to know what you really want in terms of your marriage and within your husband, and become the kind of person that others want to actually give to. You see, whenever it comes to any form of attraction and relationships, etc., we have to become the person that we want to attract. If we want someone who's caring, we need to give off that energy. If we want someone with integrity, we need to operate with integrity. If we want to, have someone who is going to just be really, really generous and, is so committed to loving. We have to be in that same place as well. And I think what a lot of people get caught up in is, I want that person to be a certain way, but I'm not necessarily going to uphold those values and uphold those beliefs or actions as well. Now, a lot of people will say to me, oh no, but I am really loving and I am really caring and this is how I am all the time and so on. But when you dig a little bit deeper and you see their behaviors, it's not aligned with what they genuinely want from the other person. We have to become the kind of person that we want to attract, or that others want to actually give to as well. I always say for women, if you can embody the essence of the feminine energy, radiate that love, radiate that kindness, radiate that warmth, there is something really attractive towards that for a lot of men. And if you give off that energy, if you give off that vibration, you're going to draw that back. Now, whether that's in the form of someone else, or whether that's in the form of your husband noticing those shifts inside of you and then wanting to step up for you, something is going to happen. Something is going to occur. There is no doubt about it. But we're always so caught up in the other person's behavior, not really looking inwardly within ourselves. Remember, relationships are a mirror for our own self. If we see behaviors in other people that are triggering us, it's an invitation for us to look inwardly within ourselves and understand, A, why are we getting triggered by that? B, is there any part of that that actually resides within me? And C, what can I do here to change my perception of what's actually going on as well? It's a very important point to note. Relationships are wonderful teachers in our lives. If we don't recognize that, then we'll always fall over. It'll always end up as a bit of a messy situation. I don't want that for you. I want you to be in joy and happiness and in love. So the first thing we have to be doing is understand, who do we want to be? What kind of person do we actually want to draw in? And then how can we embody more of those characteristics? And the second step or factor that you need to embrace is understand what it is that they actually want. And I think this is one of the most important points. It's not quite as important as the first. The reason is that we have to shift us in order to create a shift in the world around us. But when we think about other people, when we think about compatibility, we've got to get crystal clear around what it is that the other person actually wants. What are their desires? What are their beliefs? What are their values? You see, I always say that what makes a high quality marriage are two people who are aligned in their core values. It doesn't mean that they love everything, love all the same things. One person, like in my marriage, for example, like I love trance music. My wife's not a huge fan. She's obsessed with Harry Potter. I've never read a word of Harry Potter. Now, does that mean that we're not compatible? Absolutely not, but we're aligned at the very core of us. The core of who we are so aligned. And that's what makes it work so beautifully. Doesn't mean we don't have challenges, doesn't mean we haven't had challenges in the past, but we're able to get through it. And that's the key. So we've got to get clear on what the other person wants. And, this is where just making an effort to actually get to know your husband, get to know him at the deepest level. And I'll be honest with you, like a lot of people that I speak to over the years, when I think about the marriages that they're in and have been in, you can see that they haven't really got to know them at a really deep level. Yeah, they've hung out, yeah, they've been mates, and they've enjoyed a bit of time with each other and so on over the years. They've had kids. They've gone at a very immersive level in terms of their physical reality and their experiences in terms of kids and work and finances and all of that stuff, but they don't know each other at the deepest level. It is such an important aspect of a high quality marriage. You've got to know your husband or partner at a really deep level, because when you do that, when you know that person at the deepest level, it means that you can do step number 3, which is giving, and genuinely giving from the heart without any sense of expectation. You've got to become addicted to giving to your partner, just obsessed with it. Addicted might be a little bit of a strong word, but really being obsessed with giving to your husband or partner, enjoying it, deriving joy from the process of giving. Now, I know some of you might be listening to it and thinking, oh, but what happens if my husband's a narcissist? Should I give? Here's the thing. Everyone believes their husband is a narcissist. It's incredible. I'd say 95% of the people I speak to all tell me that their husband's a narcissist. Now, what I will say is that we are all on the narcissistic spectrum. We all have characteristics or traits that we step into from time to time. Anytime you post on social media and you're like showing off about things that are in your life, that has a narcissistic element to it. Does it make you a narcissist? No. But people also get to a place when they're in fear. They act upon that fear. They act in they react to the fear that they're holding on to, and that forces us to do, silly things. Does that make that person narcissist? Not necessarily. But the point is, if you are dealing with an actual narcissist, a proper narcissist who is, has narcissistic personality disorder, then, a lot of the times there is also a really important healing process that you need to go through. But also it's about looking at the person and thinking, okay, is this the right person for me? Now, I'm just going to put that as a side note in terms of this point. But on the assumption that your husband is not a narcissist or not a sociopath or whatever, giving beyond yourself, coming from the heart and genuinely giving from the heart is such a special thing, because people feel that. People feel that on so many levels. When you do something wonderful for someone, you know what that's like. There's even people that may have been a little bit cold, a little bit closed off. When you do something special for them, you can see them light up, even just a little, because every one of us wants to be loved on some level. So if we can do that and come from that place as often as we possibly can, then that's going to make a real big shift. Now, there are always some caveats here. You see, if you're someone that is deeply wounded on the inside, and you're hurting, and you've been hurting for a long time, and maybe you feel like you're not good enough, or you feel like a failure or whatever, and you're giving from a place of desperation, it's like, I want to keep giving because hopefully he'll give me something back and that will fill me up. And that sort of intent is also a bit of a tricky one, because really, if we're honest, you're probably doing it for yourself, trying to get you to feel like you're enough. Now, yes, there is absolutely going to be an element of you that loves this man and wants to give to him, but we have to be careful here about what is the deeper intention behind it. And I know this might trigger some of you, and I always want you to know, whatever I say, I'm coming from a place of love. I do it because I care, and I do it because I want to free you from your pain. So you've got to look and ask yourself, what is my intention behind this action that I'm engaging at the moment? And then secondly, a lot of people will give with this expectation that that person's going to deliver and give them the thing that they need. So therefore, it's almost like what we call a trade. It's not a genuine form of giving, like, I want to give to you because I love you and I care for you. See, when you give to your kids, there isn't that expectation, because, when it comes to our kids, they're our blood, they're sort of part of our soul, if you like, and we just want to give, and we know we're not doing this for anything in return. But when it comes to our spouse, there's a very different intent. But the question is, does there have to be? Does there have to be a difference? And personally, I don't think there has to be. Now, yes, of course, in certain situations, we've got to learn to set boundaries and so on. That goes without saying. And you can watch this video above if you want to learn a little bit more about how to set boundaries. But it's very important here to get into a rhythm of learning how to give and fill your heart up in the process. Always make sure that you're filling yourself up and then giving beyond that. Because if you are empty inside and you feel inadequate and your heart is empty and you're trying to give, it's never going to come across in the right way, and you probably won't get the outcome that you're looking for, and then that's going to make you feel even more annoyed or frustrated or hurt or sad, and then the cycle repeats. So you really want to be filling yourself up. Now, how do you do that? Well, there's lots of things. You could do a lot of self-improvement work. You could, just start engaging in some small things like going to the gym, or, pampering yourself a little bit, just to, if you felt like you haven't done much of that before, start to just get into that. Now, yes, there is absolutely the mental and the emotional component, which is extremely important. But just to start off, if you haven't had that opportunity to fill that bucket up, do it. Go and spend time with your friends or your family and fill your heart up. Go and watch a beautiful sunset. Go and take a beautiful walk along the beach. There are so many wonderful things that we can experience without needing actually anyone else to be involved in the process as well. So fill yourself up and then just give. Become obsessed with giving to your husband in a beautiful way. And once again, if you do this consistently and you're not getting, any kind of reaction, any kind of, reciprocation on any level, then that becomes a time that you need to explore and go a little bit deeper into this and understand, okay, well, is this the right strategy for me right now? Do I need to change it? Do I need to adapt my approach? Is there a part of me that's giving to sort of want to get back? Or is there something that he's going through and it just makes us not the perfect fit for us right now? But it just, as you give, you're going to get that clarity in time. And that's the key thing with all of this. It's not about just doing this one thing and expecting it to work 100% all the time. Not at all. There's going to be some things that, challenge you. There's going to be some things that you're going to have to explore and analyze a little bit more in detail. And that's a good thing. So really, really focus on coming from the heart. And if you're struggling to do it with your husband, you can do it with other people. Give a homeless person $5 or something. Just do something. Give them some food, or help a friend out, or send a lovely message to someone that you haven't heard from for a while. Get into the act of giving. It's a really beautiful thing, because as you become that person, as you fill that part of you up, it's going to be sort of a representation of who you are, and then your life is going to shift as a result of that. Now, I know that a lot of the stuff can be a little bit difficult at times, and trying to work your way through it and getting yourself into the right emotional state to be able to do these things can be quite challenging. It really is. And I've had to have a lot of help over the years in terms of my own journey. And I think it's really important to stay very humble and stay honest with yourself in terms of sometimes we do need a little bit of support, and not just from a mentor, but also a community and so on. And that's exactly why I've created the Authentic Relationship System, which is an amazing program over the years that has helped so many women internally within themselves, but also within their marriage as well. And if you're in a place where you're struggling and you're battling and you're not sure what to do and how to move forward, and maybe you're finding some of the techniques that I'm talking about a little bit difficult to implement from time to time, then I'd love to be of service to you. So all you need to do is in the description section below, just click on that link which just says book a call with me. Just click on that link, choose a time that works for you, and then I'll contact you at that scheduled time, just so I can learn a little bit more about where you're at now, where you want to get to, how we can bridge that gap in the shortest possible time. It's a complete mission of mine to be able to help women to improve the quality of their relationships, but also to heal themselves as well and become the very best versions of them. So, all you need to do once again is in the description section below, just click on that link, and then I'll contact you at that scheduled time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've liked it, make sure you hit that like button below. If you want to get more videos like that, hit that subscribe button. And do let me know what your biggest takeaway is from this video. If you've got any specific questions, or there's anything you want some clarity on, just write them below, and I'll make sure I respond to every single one of you. And if you want to learn how to stop emasculating a man, just click this video above. And if you want to learn whether no contact is the best strategy for you right now, click this video above. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next video.